Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we are gonna analyze the game that I actually played today and I wanted to share with you because it had many sacrifices, it was very dynamic and it already ended in 25 moves, so let's jump into it. The game started with the move e4 and the opponent chose the Sicilian defense. I played knight f3, so the classical variation. Mainly the goal is just to play d4 and open the center. My opponent responded with the e6, so it's the French variation of the Sicilian defense. And the point of this is to play d5 or just control this d5 square, and black focuses mainly on this dark square bishop in some variations, but very often leads to the passive positions. And I could choose this main line takes, and for example go for the Taimanov, but there's a lot of fury here, so I decided to not go so deeply in this stuff. I played the move b3, and the idea behind this is very simple. I want to put the bishop on the b2 and control the diagonal a1, h8. And the plan is gonna be to play c4, control this d5 square, which black wants to achieve with this move d5. Black played here a6. The point is to prevent the bishop from coming on b5, because black is gonna go in the future knight c6, and if I played bishop b5, it's for me good to just delete this knight from the c6 square, because I'm gonna just destroy the pawn structure in black's position. I played bishop b2 as planned, he played knight c6, and I went for the move c4 immediately. And now my opponent played knight f6. And now I had the decision to make. I could play knight c3 and defend this pawn, but after knight c3, which I didn't like, there was this move e5, and it completely blocks the position, because look at this, it's very symmetrical. The bishop is getting closed and also looks very equally, and I didn't want to lead to this very simple position. I wanted to create, more dynamic. I wanted to play something which will lead to more aggressive positions. So I strike back with e5, and he now can't take my pawn. So now he has that decision. He can play knight g4 or knight g8. Because knight e4 isn't a good idea, because after d3 he needs to jump around with this knight and has to go to g5. After knight g8, for example, I think it would be too passive, because if you play knight f6, there's no point of coming back. So my opponent decided just to go for it, and he played knight g4. Now I kicked him again with the move h3, and here's the only move where he doesn't lose the knight, and that's knight h6. I'm developing pieces as always, because in the openings you always have to remember to put pressure on the center with your pawns and minor pieces and develop them. Rooks and queens are getting later in the game. He played queen c7, putting that pressure on the e5 pawn. So now I have to defend this. And I could defend this with the queen, but it's not so good idea, because it's blocking my bishop from f1. But I can also play knight e4, and that's the move I found, and it's deflecting the bishop from b2, and it's now protecting the e5 pawn. He played knight f5 to control the d4 square to prevent me from playing d4. Now I developed my piece, bishop d3, and now I have all four minor pieces developed. He played knight fd4, and here Stockfish thinks it's an inaccuracy, and probably he's right, but I don't think it's a bad move. I think it's even good, because it prevents me in the future from any moves like d4, but I think it's a decent move. I capture it, he captured it back. Still, I don't know what it's a mistake, but if engine says that, I mean, he must be right. I played here f4 and defending this e5 pawn. Now we have strong pawns on the king side. And notice here that because of black pushed pawn to the light squares, now these black squares are very weak in the black's position. Now the knight can, in the future, use these squares as a trampoline to jump somewhere else. I mean, it's a very good square for knight to control. Also controls this black pawn, which is not supported by any pawn here because they are standing on the light squares. And that's why these black squares are getting weak. And also you can see that this bishop of this light squares is getting just crumbled here because it can't play anywhere because of this, of the same color of pawns as the bishop. He played bishop e7, and that's the first mistake by the opponent, like a big mistake, because that's the move that seems logical at first glance, but here it makes another weakness, pawn on g7, and if outplay here queen g4, then he would have to play king f2, f8 I mean. And why has to play king f8? Why not g6 I mean? Because g6 is good, but now look, these all pawns are on the light squares, and we now have another weakness on f6. So black needs to be careful with this, because this black squares will give black many problems in the future, and you will see later why. But I didn't play this, I didn't play queen g4, I wanted to end the development completely, so I castled for my king's safety, but in this moment it wasn't just the perfect continuation. Black responded here with the castle, and oh my goodness, here's just the blunder that I can even say confidently that loses the game. And why? Because you see, the only active pieces black has is this knight, maybe this queen, but it doesn't protect this king side, and this bishop, which controls this black square and this pawn, by the way. And at the same time, white has light square bishop that is all time sniping on the diagonal b1, h7, and is ready to create some threats on this king's base. We have also the knight that is ready to hop somewhere like, I don't know, knight g5 or somewhere and open up the bishop. We have also the queen that is ready to play like queen h5, queen g4, and put the pressure on this pawns g7, h7. And firstly, I took this knight on d4 because I saw that this bishop isn't so active and his knight is, so I just took it. And now I played the brilliant move first in the game, knight to f6. And you can say, okay, it looks very brave, but what if he takes this knight with the pawn? So now happens the magic. Now comes another brilliant move, which is bishop takes h7. And now if a king takes, queen h5 check, king g7, and the rook f3 coming to the g3 and giving the mate. Look, even the black's king doesn't have any space to move. I mean, the only space he can get is by hiding here, but there's the rook. So the only way to prevent the mate in one, he has to play rook g8. Then there is this check, king to f8, tries to hide, but then we have queen h6 and the king is pushed to e8, takes, bishop blocks, and checkmate in 22 moves. So he has to play something else, right? He can't just take this knight with the pawn. So he said, okay, I can take with the bishop. And that's the better option, that's the best option in this position. But now look, after it takes, he doesn't want to take with the pawn, of course, because then this line opens. So he played g6. And remember when I said that black has weaknesses on the black squares? Now we can see this perfectly. This pawn is controlling these all black squares in the black's position. And by the way, this bishop is still closed. We can see that these pawns on the light squares are completely blocking this bishop from c8 from any activation in the future. So now we have to work really fast. Queen to g4. Attacking this king on g8. This pawn is blocking, but we need to activate the queen. He plays queen c5 with a clear plan to play queen h5, trade the queens and equalize the position. So that's why he tries this, but then I'm blocking him with the move f5, and he can't play this queen h5 anymore. And I'm trying to build the pressure on the g6 square. So if he'll do anything like a5, for example, then I have this take, and check, like very forcing line, which is ending with queen g7 checkmate. So he needs to do something. He played e takes f5, and now I played rook f5, queen to d6, going backwards, and now I activate the second rook. So now I have, look, the rooks activated, a bishop, a queen, and yeah, the king I can activate, but yeah, it's better hidden behind the pawns. He played king h8, trying to take my rook, because he thinks he's gonna go from the pin, and he'll be now able to win my rook. And I'm laughing him straight to the face, and I'm playing rook h5, and I'm saying, if you want to take the rook, fine, take this anyway, no problemo. And what's the problemo here? It seems like it's a free rook. No, my brother, it's here queen g7 checkmate. You need to be careful with this one. So after rook h5, he played rook e8, hoping for some activation on the e-file. And now, the second brilliant move in the game. Here just comes the beauty of chess. Can you guess, by the way, which move is this? I'll give you 5 seconds. So the move here is rook takes h7 check. And why is this even good? We are giving this rook for free. We don't like this rook or something? No. The point is, after king takes h7, there's queen h5 check, king g8, bishop takes g6. It's another brilliant move. And there's a threat of mate, like here, and checkmate. So, okay, he has to take this, and now we play check, king goes to f8, and queen g7 checkmate. Oh my goodness. When I was playing these moves, I was like, wow, every next move was just more beautiful than the last one, and I'm kind of proud of myself, to be honest. This was for me really fun to play, and I hope that for you also it was fun to watch this game. And if you like this type of analysis, click the like so I can see how many people actually enjoyed this type of content. And yeah, thank you for watching, thank you for your attention, and I hope to see you in the next video. See ya!